All right, all right. What up, you D-gens? Hoagie coming at you with we're trying something new here on Plus Money, giving you the weekly review show, trying to come in every Tuesday with it. We'll be looking at NFL Week 9, some other sports observations, college football races heating up, college hoops is back tipping off, NBA in-season tournament going on, NHL, of course, all the sports you need right now in this season. I love it. Without further ado, though, let's jump back into it. Look at the bets from the past week, starting with Thursday again. We had the Steelers at the Titans. We told you we didn't love this slate. It was not a very good week. Hopefully, you saved some money. Didn't bet that rent out there on anything too crazy. The Tennessee game didn't go that great for us. Me and P are kind of Pittsburgh haters. We might have had some bias there on this one. We were liking Tennessee like -2.5 and Levis over passing touchdowns at some plus money. Those ones didn't hit. We ended up going good though on the three teams unanswered. No at plus 130. That ended up being pretty good. The game itself kind of interesting. Will Levis solid on 3 days prep. For the rookie. 22 of 39, 262 yards. Could have, not the worst game. Like I said, he had 3 days of prep. Mike Vrabel just listed him as the starter going forward, so we'll see the old rocket arm Will in there. Maybe he'll improve, get that offense going. He drove the ball down the field way better than Tannehill. Think that's definitely the right decision to get him in there going forward. I mean, even on the last drive of the game, it was kind of sloppy, but Levis drove them down there 66 yards in the final minute before he threw that kind of questionable interception. But still, I mean, the young rookie, Thursday night, short prep time against the Steelers defense that's always pretty good at home. Took his team, gave him a chance to win before making a mistake. We'll see him going forward. Steelers finally ran the ball well. Najee Harris kind of had a decent game he needed. Still only 69 yards on 16 carries. Jalen Warren might be the man in that backfield going forward. 11 carries for 88 yards, 8 yards average. Looked really good out there, but that Tennessee defense kind of sus at times. Who knows? Short week, things get weird. But other than that game, not the most interesting Thursday. Bets didn't go that great. We'll see what's next. Dolphins versus the Chiefs in Germany. This one was kind of weird game. Not really as exciting as we thought it would be, and it was kind of the tale of two halves. Chiefs came out there 21-0. Seemed like Tyreek was getting press covered. Not a good game for him. We were counting on those, revenge game. No touchdown. Sad for him, for a lot of bettors and fantasy players. Was really liking that Tyreek Hill touchdown. The under hit as well. It was liking the over. The Dolphins were just stale first half. And it was like they switched places. Chiefs came out 21-0, and then the Dolphins answered with 14, and they had a chance to get down there and tie it at the end of the game before a bad snap on fourth down. Tua just lost it, and it was over from that point. But I just wanted to shout out again the Chiefs wide receivers. Or sorry, wrong mistake there. The Chiefs cornerbacks. Because I said on here before, I don't even know who the Chiefs cornerbacks are. All right, but no, L'Jarius Sneed, Joshua Williams, Trent McDuffie, and Jalen Watson. Those cornerbacks for the Chiefs, all four ranking inside the top 40 at their positional grades right now. So that Chiefs secondary, they just shut down Tua and the Dolphins. Before that, you could say who'd they play? Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, yeah. But they had a test there against the Dolphins, who had number one rushing attack, number one passing attack, and they held their own and then more. I mean, shut down Tyreek Hill with some great press coverage. That defense might be legit. The Chiefs might be following the formula they have in previous seasons. Their young receivers might be coming on at the right time. I mean, their defense is great, so if they can get a compliment to Rice and Kelsey out there, the offense just might click. I mean, they got Pacheco back there. The running back's pretty solid. They're getting deep. I mean, if they can just figure out their wide receiver situation, get the offense going, I'd be kind of scared at the Chiefs. They haven't got hot yet. They could be getting hot at the right time, looking in late season run. But yeah, weird overseas game. Who knows? You never know. Germany, tale of two halves there. future season has a lot to tell about the Dolphins and the Chiefs. I think both teams have a lot of room to grow if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. After that one, we had the Rams Packers game. We did not like this. We told you do not bet the Rams Packers. It was the worst game of the week, candidate number one. Uh, Brett Rippon and the Rams without Stafford did not even get inside the Packers 30-yard line once. Now the Rams are signing Carson Wentz, I believe. I think that has to be a correlation there. Brett Rippon did not look good at all. Offense not good. I mean, they've struggled even with Stafford, so this is definitely, I think the Rams are dead. And they even the Rams D forced 2 turnovers against Love, so I mean they stayed in it in the first half. But it seems like when the Packers win, they come out and they always play good in the second half for some reason. They're such a second half team. I've been talking about that on the bets as well. Like sometimes you can really look at the Packers just get dusted in the first half before they come back and score 17, and then their defense just mans up and plays great. Even with the guys they traded away, Douglas to the Bills and stuff. Love came out in the second half after they had the first half was pretty close. But Love came out in the second half, went 12 of 13 for 160 yards and a touchdown. Also, an observation I've been having on the Packers games, I feel like their kicker is just needs to figure it out. I mean, I get this guy's a rookie, but every time I see the Packers kicker, it seems like it's not going in. He does not look like the guy. But I get he's a rookie. He's got some time to figure it out. But I know he's the younger brother of Carlson from the Raiders. He just doesn't look that good. Rams, though, it's been obvious they need Stafford to win this year. I think even if you went back and threw Baker Mayfield in like they had to last year on a Thursday, I don't think they would be getting a W this year. These teams are both dead, though, I would say, given their divisional slate. Packers ain't coming for the Lions, let alone I think the Vikings would beat the Packers. The Bears might beat the Packers at this point again. Rams aren't going anywhere with the Seahawks and 49ers in their division. These teams are just dead in the water. Not the year. Rams really mortgaged their future for that Super Bowl. That's going to have a tough test ahead of them. The Packers might as well if Jordan Love doesn't turn out to be the guy. And, I mean, he had a good second half. I guess he can build on that, but he has not looked good. Packers have not looked good. Going to be a tough situation over there in Green Bay. After that, though, another game, we said, do not bet game of the week like most of this slate. Last week's episode, again, was good games, bad slate. We had Bucks versus the Texans. This was a Texans minus 2.5 point favorite, I believe. And this game got weird if you bet on this spread at all. The Texans kicker got hurt. At one point, they had the running back kicking, I believe. And because of that, the Texans got a game-winning drive at the end, and instead of kicking the field goal to cover the spread, or I guess risk going for 2 points and fumbling it and letting the other team return it or something, they knelt the ball for the extra point. They knelt the ball, and they didn't cover the spread for this reason. At minus 2.5, Texans won by 2. Bucks covered the spread as the plus 2.5. Hilarious if you ask me, but I imagine that had to enrage somebody out there. P liked the Texans. He made a good call there. It ended up being a pretty good QB battle, Baker versus Stroud. This was a game, it went way over, for as far as points were concerned. Who thought Texans Bucks was going to be 40, 80 points, damn near 39-37. The D couldn't hold up in the second half for the Bucks. I looked at some stats on Sunday, and I came away with the Buccaneers first half bet, and that ended up hitting, luckily, and then their D just went to shit in the second half. Big Daddy CJ Stroud, 75-yard game-winning drive. Texans, yeah, like I said, their kicker got hurt, so they didn't cover the spread. But Stroud looks like the guy, man. He made some good throws. Way to bounce back to after. I was kind of confused when the Texans were off the bye and went to Carolina last week, and they just got shut down, didn't play that good. Great bounce back against the Bucks, especially if the defense kind of held them in check the first half. Yeah, Stroud, there's a lot, like the rookie QBs this year, nice. I mean, Levis looked pretty good. And I know Sam Howell's not a rookie, but like he's a young dude. And I think he's taken some steps forward. I mean, you can look at Tyson Bagent on the Bears D2. He last versus the Saints, which I'm about to get into, Bears Saints. We'll talk about him right now. When if the Bears didn't turn the ball over, they were moving the rock. Tyson Bagent was getting first downs. They were making plays. The Bears, because I even said Bears' first drive punt, I thought was a good one, was a funny bet. The Bears hardly punted at all. Either they turned it over or they kept the drive alive. I mean, every time I looked at the TV, it was like Bears first down, second down, and then if I looked and saw the Saints with the ball, it was like third down. They were punting it every 5 seconds. Tyson Bagent had 3 picks. I think the Bears maybe lost 2 fumbles, 5 turnovers. If not for that 5 turnovers, Bears win that game, I think, and maybe by more than 7. Uh, I am done, as any of you should be, betting on the Saints if you have any choice. The Saints parlays came out in the end good, luckily. They were scary, but man, is betting on the Saints terrifying. Just when I'm just done with them. Nothing more I can say about the Saints. But somehow if the playoff started today, the Saints would be ahead in that division, which is such a weird one. You know what, you got Bucks, Saints, Falcons, just odd over there. Saints would make it. They still might, I think, unless the Bucks get a run going, but they've lost a lot in a row. I bet we really liked this on this one though. I was screaming hammer this shit. Maybe one of the few bets we liked last week. Cole Kmet over 3.5 catches. He went for 6 on 55 yards. The rookie was feeding my man. I might be looking for more of him soon. I wouldn't be surprised if the line goes up to 4.5. Yeah, Bears Saints, scary. Bears, easy. I won't say easy cover. The Saints could have went up by 10. The Saints finished the drive in the Bears red zone. There's also a point where the Saints could have kicked a field goal to go up 10. Instead, they went for it on 4th down, got stuffed. They made it. It was just a weird game. Saints made it a lot closer than they needed to be, and the Bears could have stayed right there if they didn't turn it over. It'll be an interesting spot going forward, especially with the Bears playing the Panthers coming up this Thursday. And then the Bears will be playing the Cardinals too soon. So like all those matchups are going to affect the number 1 through number 3 overall picks. And I think the Bears, talking draft, I guess, real quick, I think the Bears should kind of look for a Marvin Harrison Jr. if you're going to keep Justin Fields, but we'll talk about that some other time. After that, though, Falcons, Vikings. Oh, my God. We were loving the Falcons, right? Because we thought, here's a spot where we want to bet against Jaren Hall. You know, Vikings 6th-round rookie, first start. And that shit looked pretty good. And then Jaren Hall tried to run it in the end zone, got clean clocked and knocked out of the game. And who comes in? The favorite killer, the underdog extraordinaire, the man who's set to ruin your parlays all year. Joshua freaking Dobbs, dude. Just had to beat the Cowboys back in week 2 or 3. And I knew once he was in there, it was going to be over. So he comes in. He's a bettor's worst nightmare. His face haunts me. He's busts everybody's parlays all the time. He's always making you sweat. No surprise Josh Dobbs did what he did. Falcons had him wrapped up as well on a 4th down and long to win the game. They had him wrapped up in the pocket. Somehow Josh Dobbs scrambles out of that play, runs for 20 fucking yards, first down, goes on to throw a touchdown, win the game. I mean, luckily this didn't kill me. I had the Falcons on a 13-point teaser, so they covered it somehow. But Taylor Heineke did not look good, turning the ball over, giving the Vikings 10 points off turnovers. Without that, they don't win. Also, they couldn't finish any drives. I think Young Ho Koo had 4 or 5 field goals. At one point, I saw the Falcons I thought they had 3 touchdowns, I think, but no, it was just the man was kicking all field goals. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to go on there. We thought Taylor Heineke might have been an upgrade. Maybe, if he can take care of the ball, he might. But at that point, you almost take Desmond Ridder because the turnovers killed you. God, Falcons, who knows if they'll compete for the division or not, the way that's going. Vikings, I think Well, fuck, they won. They're up there with the Lions now. Who knows? Maybe Joshua Dobbs will make something happen. Be kind of an interesting storyline going forward. Just I always think Dobbs is out, and then they find a way. I mean, they'll have Justin Jefferson coming back. But after that one, Seahawks versus Ravens, what looked to be the best game of the week was absolute blowout. Ravens, I guess, just whoop ass at home. I was kind of scared of the Ravens because they didn't play the Cardinals amazingly in Arizona. Um, but they just everything they had. Roquan Smith was meant to be a Raven. He's leading them like no other. He reminds me of Ray Lewis in there. It's a good day to be a Ravens fan. I'm glad I'll have that one in my pocket. The bet I was telling you, Lamar was wanting to get Odell Beckham a touchdown. That was at plus 275. Funny enough, Lamar wasn't even the one to throw Odell a touchdown. It ends up being Tyler Huntley in garbage time. Big L though on the Seahawks offense. I was telling you the Ravens, when they lose, they get beat on secondary and in coverage and things like that. No, I said I like Geno Smith over 1.5 touchdowns. Seahawks 3 points all day. Geno Smith no fucking touchdowns. They had some big plays, but then the Ravens would come in and force turnovers or get big sacks. Ravens had always had a problem getting pass rush. You know, I was watching them personally as a fan, getting internal rush with four and not blitzing. And they have some guys up there now. Matabuki, that defense is legit. They're ranking as the third best overall team in like history right now. I mean, that's not totally true. They haven't played, great competitions or anything, but it's their number wise, they're ranking really good to be like one of the best teams. That's not saying they are. They have a tough schedule coming up. They have the 49ers, the Bengals again, and the Dolphins to end the season. So I think that'll tell if the Ravens are a real threat in the AFC. They also have the Browns this week, a good defense. They played them before when they started like Doriel Thompson and not PJ Walker, not Deshaun, and they dusted them. But it'll be a totally new game this Sunday. Their defense healthy and Deshaun in there, I think. Also, big pickup for the Ravens, Keaton Mitchell, running back, undrafted. Probably can't get him on your fantasy teams anymore, but he, man, 9 carries, 138 yards, and he looks like he should play for the Dolphins, how fast he is. Keaton Mitchell, what a pickup by the Ravens. I love that. Like, I'm not sure if they're going to be going by committee again with Gus Bus. They got Justice Hill, but Keaton Mitchell looks like a guy out there with his speed. I mean, totally different change of pace back with Gus Edwards. All right, getting out of there. Seahawks will be having a tough schedule too come up. I was thinking they would contend for the division with the 49ers on a skid, but we'll see that head to head with the Seahawks 49ers coming up in a couple weeks. That might tell a lot about that division. But out of there, Cardinals in full tank mode against the Browns. Cardinals to lose a fumble was the bet we liked over there at plus 125. That ends up hitting. They turned it over 3 or 4 times. They had 67 yards of offense, I think, all day. Looked terrible. Cardinals looked exactly how we thought they would with Clayton Tune in there. He couldn't tune up the band. Picks, fumbles, no points. Browns defense dominated. Mari Cooper going big on a crazy game, well over 100 yards. Cardinals are bringing back Kyler Murray this week. We'll see if they can get a win the rest of the year. Maybe he can spark something in them. They have the Bears at some point. Maybe they can get a dub in there if they even want to. I think if they don't, they get the number 1 overall pick. Cardinals had 0 first downs, not even 60 yards total. Just absolutely crazy. Not an NFL offense. The XFL team might have did better. Browns parlays smacked. That's about all we liked. Cardinals full tank mode. Yep. They're dead. Washington versus New England after that. I was liking Washington here. The under was pretty good play. I think me and P were talking about that. It was 30. They went for 37. Under was at 41.5. Washington wins off Mac Jones' pick. Sam Howell, I think he's pretty good quarterback. Looking at his game, he flashes with some great throws. Back-to-back games, he's went 300 yards. think he's just a guy. He needs, a good offensive line. He's not going to scramble outside the pocket too much, and he will scramble outside the pocket and make some plays, but that's not, his game like Lamar Jackson. When you can really give Sam Howell in the pocket some time, I think he's a pretty good quarterback, and he's kind of shown that. Commanders went 9 of 17 on third down, a lot of conversions. Besides New England busting out like a 67-yard run somehow with Stevenson, they would have been pretty dead. Their offense fails to score 20 points again. They're on a streak of that. Patriots just dead. Funny fact, Bill Belichick is closer to the all-time loss record as a coach than he is to the all-time wins record. If he coached if he had some good seasons, 3 or 4 more seasons, he could have the all-time wins record, but he's about to have the all-time loss record as a coach because he's been around so long. But far cry from the old Patriots. But after there, Carolina versus the Colts, man. Not a good game by the Panthers, who I thought would look strong after coming out and beating the Texans off the bye at home. P liked the Colts -2.5. I was on the Panthers. Just wasn't a good game. I ended up having the Colts in teasers. It was a pretty good one. All around weird game. Colts absolutely crushed them, 27-13. Panthers, not very good game in the slightest. Raiders versus Giants. Couldn't have been more wrong on this one, right? I like the Giants. Aiden O'Connell goes out and proves me way wrong. I mean, looking back on it, I should have no reason liking the Giants other than I just thought Aiden O'Connell would have been bad and the Raiders would have been bad. There's this precedent going back. When your head coach gets fired, you usually end up winning. The boys were fired up. They had some different people in rotation on defense. Like, this coach might actually have it figured out. McDaniel should never coach in the NFL again. Yeah, and Giants sneakily, I think, become, not sneakily, but the worst team in the NFL now, at least at offense. I mean, Daniel Crimes, vanilla shit, whatever you want to call him, stealing money. I can't believe he even got a contract anyway. He's out for the year now, ACL. I mean, honestly, is that his last game as a Giant? If I'm the New York Giants, why do you want Daniel Dimes back? Just contract-wise, you can't find anybody else better? Or, I mean, if you can replace him, Tyrod Taylor looked better. When I saw that Daniel Jones was playing versus the Raiders, I thought it made them worse, especially since he came back from injury rushed. I get the third string guy ain't the answer, but damn, you could almost, I'll just throw out you could go find Jimmy Clausen out there at 40 years old or something, and he'd probably come back and do better than Daniel Jones and that third string. God, the Giants are just terrible. I feel bad. They got to move on from him. Their offensive line's not good. The defense was supposed to be better. It's just shit show down in NY or New Jersey, whatever you want to call it. The New Jersey Giants stinking it up. Philly, though, versus Cowboys. This was a bet we actually did like, one of the rare ones. We were telling you Philly money line. Mike McCarthy does not win big games. The Eagles finish. The Eagles execute. Dak even played pretty good, but the Cowboys just didn't execute in big moments and big situations. Like, the Cowboys stuffed on a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line of the Eagles, whereas like the Eagles 4th and 1, you know it's coming, and they're converting. Tush push, here you go. 3rd and 3, we're getting it. Just the Eagles executed. You can't say anything else other than the Cowboys just didn't finish. They made a couple mistakes, especially on their game-winning drive they tried to execute. The Eagles gave them, ample opportunity to come back with some big penalties, and then Dallas, like, false start or a holding, just shot themselves in the foot. And that's like the story of Dallas. They just don't finish. Yeah, the Eagles look dangerous coming in at 6-1 or 7-1 now. They might definitely make it to the NFC Championship game. We'll see who they meet in the playoffs. Them or the 49ers. I mean, the Eagles are just looking better and better every week. And last but not least in the NFL, Another one we were liking was the Bengals at home. We were leaning over there. Bills have had some injuries on the defensive side, losing one of their best linebackers. Bengals have been getting hot. Bills play a lot of zone coverage. Joe Burrow thrives against zone coverage. That's what he did. But then the other bet, at least we liked on the Bills side, was Dalton Kincaid over 3.5 catches and 40 to 50 yards. Dalton Kincaid at 50 yards was plus 160. He had a huge game, best of his career. He goes for 10 catches, 80 yards. That one was good. So Eagles, Bengals, the really the only great bets we liked on the slate. And then the last one on Monday night, we didn't even dissect this one too much. I think me and P just been arguing about. I hate the Jets. He likes the Jets. I said Chargers -7. It smashes. Chargers beat the shit out of the Jets. I just thought this game, you could find info on this looking back at when the Jets played the Cowboys and they lost by like 40. And when the Chargers played the Cowboys recently, Chargers made it competitive. Chargers defense had been getting healthy while the Jets offensive line was hurt. And I was just going on a quarterback matchup, man. Even Justin Herbert didn't play that great, but Zach Wilson not it either. And the Chargers don't have a good pass defense, but their run defense holds up. So they shut down the Jets' run offense. The Jets couldn't get much going outside anybody but Garrett Wilson. I think even Zach Wilson had some better yardage. He went 33 of 49, a lot of pass attempts there. Most of it, some garbage yards though. Eckler with 2 touchdowns, bounce back there for him. Jets offense, I think they have to improve the offensive line. Every year they think the quarterback can fix them. The Jets need to get like the Cowboys. I mean, Dak Prescott's not the most amazing quarterback in the world, but sometimes he thrives behind that great offensive line. And I think New York just needs to get behind that. I mean, if you had a good offensive line, you could start your offense at the running game, which you should. Brees Hall, Dalvin Cook back there. Like, the O-line needs improvements. You should be running and building off that. I don't even think they would be that good if Aaron Rodgers was in here. Yeah, he might win them a couple more games, keep them close with some big throws, but that offensive line is just bad, and it's a reason Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the first place. I mean, the blew by his left tackle, and then he fell in the dirt. And it's always the same. It's always the same thing. They just, let's get a quarterback. Let's get a quarterback. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, get a fucking left tackle. How about that? Then you guys might actually be something. All right. Outside of there, we'll talk more about Week 10 Thursday, 6:30. We'll have that one uploaded, or you can catch us live, of course, YouTube, Twitch, Plus Money Bets. Other sports observations for the week. Some UFC was happening. What's next? Derek Lewis takes a loss against up-and-coming grappler. Is that it for Derek Lewis? It seems like unless he's just fighting someone who's swinging and banging with him, he's not having a great fight. He can't really wrestle. We'll see what's next. UFC this Saturday, though. Alex Pereira versus Jiri. We got that light heavyweight contest. That should be a banger. College football, baby, is heating up. More football. Going to be a battle for those playoff spots. Number 4 spot, Michigan or Ohio State. One of them's going to lose to each other. Michigan plays their first good game this year. Penn State. If either of them makes it to the Big Ten title, though, they're going to have to play each other. One's going to lose. Oregon versus Washington. We might get part 2 in the Pac championship. Of course, like earlier, Washington took down Oregon, and weirdly, like Oregon kind of looks like the better team, even though they lost head-to-head. So I want that one to happen again. I mean, if Oregon lost twice, I would knock them out. Florida State needs to hold out against Miami, and they play Florida and Gainesville. I mean, that's going to be tough. Those in Florida matchups are always hard. So Florida State at number 4, Miami this week, and then Florida at the last game of the year. But, in-state rivalry is always a chance at an upset there. Alabama could meet Georgia in the SEC title. Alabama beating LSU is big for them. They have a fairly easy schedule to end the year now. Georgia's playing Ole Miss, number 1 versus 10 this week. That would be a great game. Ole Miss could have a chance for the upset. and then who knows what'll happen over there. That could leapfrog Ole Miss over Alabama to go in their half of the SEC title game. But yeah, that'll be a good one. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff happening coming down to conference title games in college football. Can't wait for that next year playoff. I mean, this year it's going to be tight, man. 12 teams. I can't wait. I like when my college football looks a little more like pro, personally. But speaking of college, NCAA's back last night, and boy, did we have a couple upsets early. Michigan State, ranked number 4. I don't know why. Loses to James Madison in overtime. I feel like Michigan State is always ranked high. Like, I don't know if they just give Tom Izzo some respect or if their recruiting class is great, but then it feels like they do this. They've been doing this same thing for years now. They lose early, get upset or something. They'll end up like the 25th ranked team in the nation at the end of it, and then they'll get bounced in the Sweet 16. Um, I feel like Tom Izzo's been doing this since 2011. Michigan State feels like I said, they've been doing it for years. Me personally, for college basketball, I'll be keeping an eye on the Big Ten more than other conferences. You know, Purdue, Zach Edey's back. Like I said, Illinois is my team. Michigan State, hell, even maybe Wisconsin will make it up there. Had a little bet on them last night. They ended up blowing them out. You know, those day one in NCAA picks are always pretty crazy. They're always big favorites against small schools for the most part. Started a long season, though. Other than that one, another crazy upset on the women's side of things. That LSU women's super team that they tried to build. Big loss early against Colorado. What an upset that one was. But you know how with those super teams, might take them a while to figure it out. But yeah, over to the NHL. Bruins continue on a scorching run, starting off better than they did last year. They finally took their first regulation time loss against the year against the Red Wings, who also continue their breakout season. Red Wings are sitting in second place, so if there's ever a team to lose to, that's a good one. I was loving the Red Wings early season. Been a good team to bet on, especially at home. Oilers continue to struggle. Not a good team to bet on. Maybe bet against. Either their struggles are either surprising or you saw it coming if you were like knew about their goalie situation. Those guys are just bad. I think they're waiving one of them. They haven't been scoring well either or playing good defense. Oilers just been all around bad. I mean, coming from a top playoff seed last year, things are looking rough. They're down there with the San Jose Sharks, who are winless right now. San Jose Sharks coming off games where they gave up 10 goals back to back. They lost 10-1 and 10-2. I have never seen this in hockey. As a fan for many years, as somebody who used to play, is this the worst team ever? I mean, 0-10 in the NHL. I thought the NHL was one of the most equal leagues there was. I mean, they've gotten rid of all their stars where they can't even win one anymore. They're playing the Flyers tonight. Kind of wondering if they can win there. I mean, they're at home in San Jose. Flyers aren't the greatest team. Maybe they can beat the Blue Jackets. Fuck, but it's kind of, I've never seen this in the NHL. I'll be seeing if they can win a game sometime. But also in the NHL, the Pacific Division's been pretty tight. It's going crazy. You got the Golden Knights in there leading it, of course, but then Vancouver Canucks, surprising, number 2, I believe. Then the LA Kings are in there, and Anaheim Ducks. Who saw that one coming? Right behind the Knights. They're all playing competitive hockey. They all have a seven wins at least, I believe. They're all sitting above 500. Long season to go there, but that division's looking hot. Surprised by the Ducks and the Canucks. And then you got, of course, the NBA play-in tournament coming on. I haven't seen anything about it, but they're using some crazy courts. I wonder if those shit would be distracting. And then MLB news, see down below, going there. Craig Counsell leaves for the rival Chicago Cubs. I thought that one was interesting because Craig Counsell played for the Brewers. So I wonder what the hell is going on there. If he was just sick of Milwaukee, or I wonder if they got treated bad, if we'll hear some info coming about that. I mean, Craig Counsell made his career with the Brewers and then turned to manage them, and now he's just gone. Maybe he thought maybe they paid him more. Who knows? But anyway, that's the sports review this week. Week 9 NFL. We'll be getting back to you on Thursday with Week 10 picks and coming at you next Tuesday with another review of that. But anyway, baby, it was Hoagie. Thanks for tuning in. If you ever want to see the live version again, just come in, check out Twitch, YouTube, Plus Money Bets, all one word, pretty much everywhere. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one. I'll catch you later.